Hey everyone, Steve Grogan here, founder of Geek, Wing Chun. This video is a little bit of a training tip about the importance of the knee above the hip and its relation to being rooted. If you've never been here before, this is what the channel is all about. Training tips and ideas for people who want to get better at Wing Chun, but you can't make it to class that much. So if that's you, hit subscribe, hit the like button, but hit the bell icon too. You'll be notified when we have new videos out. So this little idea is something that would be of interest definitely to people who are studying the same lineage that I am, the Lung Shung lineage. Lung Shung was Ip Man's first student. They called him, there's Wang Shun Lung was king of talking hands. Chu Shung Tin was called king of Silam Tao. Lung Shung's nickname was king of Bu Ji. So for those of you who know how important, how revered Wing Chun people who make it to Bu Ji are, where they're like top of the line, that should tell you how good he was. Because the reason why I say it would be important mainly, or not mainly, but mostly to a lot of Lung Shung people is because of the focus of that lineage on being rooted in your stance. Excuse me. And by rooted, I don't mean I stand here like a tree, because people hear roots, they think tree. Like I stand here like a tree, like a department store mannequin, while he dances all around me, hitting me everywhere, and I just stay rooted. It doesn't mean that, because you can be rooted in motion. So it requires a lot more explaining, but sadly these days not a lot of people care to dig deeper and say, what do you mean by that? But anyway, when you are rooted, and to be honest, this is something I'm working on, because even though I've done Wing Chun since '95, I've been involved with the Lung Shung lineage only maybe about 3 or 4 years tops now. But, and unfortunately my ability to go is inconsistent due to good old, well, you know what's going on right now, pandemic and stuff. So, honestly, I'll be forthcoming. I'm not as great with my roots as I should be, but I'm working on it, and this is one way how. And this is another big part of this channel, is giving you drills you can do, drills or activities that you can do with people who aren't fellow Wing Chun practitioners. This is my stepson. So he doesn't practice Wing Chun, but he doesn't need to in order to help me out with this drill. So the importance of the knee above the hip, honestly, I mean, a lot of people want to see things on the channel and they say, well, how would you apply that in a street fight? Well, not everything can be applied in a street fight. Some things are just drills or just activities to maybe test something, like your roots, and I mean, like single hand chi sao. I mean, not a lot of people can see, like, how would you apply that in a street fight? Because it's not an application. It's not a street fighting, it's not training you for that. So they go, oh, well, hell with that then, and they skip straight ahead to chi sao. But I really think these nuts and bolts things are important to do. So I can't think of a situation where you might wind up like this. So just view it as an activity to test your roots. Don't think about, oh, so if I'm in a street fight and someone does that, I can do this. So if you got your knee, if you put your leg out like you would when you've done that kick in Chum Q, right? If your knee is below your hip, and Caleb tries to grab under my foot, and I want to put my foot down, but my knee wasn't above my hip when he did it. I can't do it. In fact, he's lifting me up further. Even though he brought me to my knee above my hip, do it again. He got me to my knee above my hip, but I can't. He had superior position in the start, right? But if you're doing this right, when you have the knee above the hip and someone goes to hold you, no one should be able to keep you from putting your foot down. So, getting my roots. I'm going to start with my foot, my knee above my hip. Caleb grabs. So that's what I mean about how I'm still working on it, because if I had been good at it, I should just done that. So that's how you test your structure with the knee above the hip. Now that I think about it, I will say I do think this kind of sort of came into play with one thing that happened to me. I was in this class where I was sparring with people from other styles, and I had tried to kick, and it wasn't with Caleb, so he can only just best mimic what the other guy did. I think what happened was he was like dead on in front of me, so I had tried to kick, and he stepped to the side. So step so that you're like flat facing that way, right? So he stepped to the side. He was still looking at me, of course, when I went to kick, and he caught my leg like this. And I went, nope, boom. Well, and I got it down, unlike that time. But, so, just so I can illustrate, I mean, obviously I'm going to ask him to go a little easy on me just so I can show you what happened that time. I couldn't get him down this time, but, so he was, hook your arms a little more. So he had done this, and I did that. Didn't yank him down quite as far, but I did, bam. And so there was one time where that came into play. That's just one example, but again, how many times you're going to really run into that? So, but it is, even though it's not street application friendly, it's an activity worth engaging in to test your roots, because if you're not getting that, then why are you here? So play around with that. If you're not quite getting it, who knows, maybe show this video to your Sifu, see what he thinks, and go from there. And that's all. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. See you in the next video.